You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it's Friday the 25th of October 2024. You're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and I've had quite a nice sort of lazy, well no, not really lazy day today. The first thing, I think I mentioned yesterday that I was reading a book for a book club thing that I was going to today, and I actually haven't even got the book with me now, so that's no help. It's by James McBride, and it's called something like the supermarket. Yesterday I hadn't finished reading it, and my plan was to read it before I went to the meeting today, obviously, and then last night after I did the podcast and everything, I just couldn't sleep. So I just thought, well, rather than being awake all night, not being able to sleep, and then struggling to, and then having to still read the book tomorrow, as I'm awake, let's read the book. So I did actually get the book finished. It's about 5 a.m, but I got it finished, and then tried to get some more sleep, and then had to get up at 10 o'clock for a haircut. And again, I've been trying to work out the optimum sort of distance time between haircuts, because I've got this terrible habit of leaving it several months and it just looking quite scruffy by the time I do it again. And one of the simple ways of making sure you have another appointment is to book it when you leave, and you can book up to 6 weeks in advance at my barber's. So I did actually. I've been doing that the last couple of months, and I think I found 5 weeks seems to be the optimal time between appointments, because it didn't look scruffy today, but it definitely looked better by the time I'd had the haircut. And I just had a sort of a grade 2, basically, just keep it very short. But no, it's looking all right. You really needed to know all this. And then I nipped it because I'd had a text to say that some books I'd ordered were in the bookshop. I went and picked them up, and then went home and dozed a bit, to be honest, because I'd slept so badly the night before and I wanted to be awake for the book club, so I did that. And then whilst I was dozing, got another text, another book that I had ordered arrived, so I went into town about 15 minutes before book club was due to start. Normally the book club is after the store has closed. It's normally at 5:30 and the store closes at 5, but today it was whilst the store was open. It was 3:30 till 4:30, and that's the first time they've done it. And the reason they did it was that the book that I keep failing to name was so, I'm going to try and get it up on here whilst I'm talking. It was such a popular one, so many people wanted to join in, they actually ended up having a second session for it. So there was a session last night where people had read the book, attended, and then there was the session that I attended today, and I think more people attended the evening session, which is their traditional one. But yeah, no, it was really good. It was interesting as well, because obviously the person who runs it is one of the 2 members of staff from the shop, and they were saying it was actually quite, because they expected the thoughts to be relatively similar, if that makes sense. And in fact, what happened was the group last night were less fond of it, and the group today actually seems to quite like it. So that was interesting. I'm just trying to find a link to get the bloody title of this book, and I'm really struggling. And I've also run out of waffle to say whilst I'm looking. Oh, come on. There we go. I've read 39 books. It was number 39. Oh, there you go. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it, and generally the group quite enjoyed it, and they seemed to enjoy it more than the group yesterday. So that was good. There are more books next month. I will endeavour to tell you what they are, because I'm having my unpaid leave. I'm going to go. So they do a sci-fi book club, or a sci-fi fantasy book club, and a contemporary book club, and usually I pick one or the other. So on the rare occasions I'm actually not working and not away on both days, then I will pick the one that I like the sound of most. And very occasionally I'm there for both and will have time, so I'll do both. And so because I'm not working in November, I have booked for both of the 2 book clubs. And again, the contemporary book club has been split into two sessions because it's doing so well. So that's nice. I mean, that's really good. I mean, I think that they're limited to numbers because it's not a small shop particularly, but I think fire regulations mean they can only have a certain number of people, and I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know, but a certain number of people, so, up in the upstairs room at any one time. So I did that, and then I came home. Oh, I picked up. Just before the book club as well, picked up from the post office. I ordered a coffee advent calendar. So I've been quite enjoying Pact Coffee recently. And they basically did advertise a little while back a 25 pack of individual different coffee sachets, and it's all proper ground coffee, so it's not like instant and stuff, so you need to either put it through a cafetiere or a machine or whatever, and yeah, it's a different flavour for each day, and I have been enjoying Pact Coffee. I have to, they're not sponsoring this, by the way, but I have really been enjoying the coffee they do, so and I quite like the idea of having a different coffee to try each day, and it's just enough for one cup, so I'll have a cup each morning on the in December, but I mean, obviously I may be working some of them, but there's probably no reason why I can't take the powdered coffee with me, as long as I take there's like a filter thing, a thing that holds a filter that you can put on top of a cup, so I can still make myself a filter coffee in my bedroom. I just have to make sure that I dry it before I put it back in my case, so that everything else that comes out afterwards doesn't stink of wet coffee. But yeah, I quite like the idea of that, and I get to try a lot of different flavours. I mean, so far I think I'm on to my fourth different one, and I've enjoyed them all to different degrees, so I'm starting to understand what my coffee palate is like. So it definitely feels like I prefer a medium roast, and the flavour profiles I seem to quite like are the slightly more burnt, I know that tends to be the dark roast, doesn't it, but the sort of slightly chocolatey and also fruity, so like there's a sort of lemony one which was absolutely delightful, and it is more smelt of lemon than tasted of it. But yeah, so yes, anyway, hopefully tomorrow I will do some writing. We shall see how I feel. I didn't plan to today, and I didn't attempt to today, but we shall see. Anyway, thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.